Hey guys, Paul Ski here, back with another video. So today I just wanted to run through a little bit of a stretch for the upper chest, and this is also going to help extend and do a little bit of mobilization for the thoracic spine or the T-spine. So just quickly, the thoracic spine or T-spine is called for short, is just your sort of that middle section of the spine. It's the longest section of the spine. It sort of runs from your T1, so there's a bump. If you find a bump at the base of your neck, your T-spine roughly goes from just below that bump and goes all the way down, and the ribs all come off the T-spine. So if you find your lowest ribs and you trace those back in and up towards your spine, that's going to be the base of your thoracic spine. You have 12 ribs, so T1 to T12, those are your thoracic vertebrae making up your thoracic spine. So what this stretch is going to do is open up this chest, particularly upper chest, and extend the thoracic spine. So when I talk about thoracic extension, what typically happens is where a lot of us are sitting at a desk a lot, or we're driving, we're kind of in that hunched over position. See how my thoracic spine is starting to curve forward a little bit. It's flexing. That's thoracic flexion. So typically we're all in a little bit too much thoracic flexion. What we want to do is go into a bit more thoracic extension. So a good way to cue this is to think of your sternum. Put your hands on your sternum. Pretend there's like a piece of fishing line that's attached to your sternum, and you're being pulled up by a piece of string or fishing line like this. That's going to bring you into more thoracic extension, and you'll feel like once you do that, your chest is opening up. So, and you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to hyperextend your thoracic spine, because then you have the opposite problem. You just want to do it so you're feeling like you have nice space. It's lifting your rib cage up. You have nice space between your ribs and your pelvis, and you can breathe. The chest is open, but the back is open, and the chest is open at the front, and the back is open at the back equally, so you can really breathe into your chest and into your back the same amount. That's a good amount of thoracic extension. Thoracic extension also puts our spine and our whole shoulder girdle and our head in the best position to do exercises or to move, do whatever we're going to do throughout the day. So it's really good to get into thoracic extension before you do any other stretching or posture work. So this stretch is a really good one to do before any type of posture stretch, for example, wall angels, which we covered off in another video. So let's get into the stretch itself. So what we want to do for the setup is we kind of want to create this frame with our hands. So I'm folding my arms one over the other, and I want to keep this frame of my hands pretty kind of solid. I don't want my hands slipping out, or I want to keep it like that. And then what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to bring my forehead down and place it right in the middle of my hands. But I want to show you from the side a bit about the setup for this, just so you can see what's going on. But we're going to do this against a wall, but just let me show you. So with this setup, you want to be aware of what your spine is doing throughout this stretch. So you want to make sure that your lumbar spine, your lower spine, doesn't arch too much like this. You want to keep it fairly neutral. So even when you're leaning against the wall, don't allow your bum to kick back too much and get too much of an arch in your lumbar spine, because then you're going to start causing problems through this lumbar spine, and the whole spine won't be in a natural curve. It'll be a bit exaggerated. So you want to keep a nice neutral lumbar spine throughout this. So you've got your setup, and I'm basically going to bring my head to my hands. I'm going to kick out a little bit from the wall. I'm going to be making sure I've got a nice neutral lumbar, so not like this too much, keep it neutral. And then I'm going to lean into the wall, and then I'm going to start hunching just for one breath. So when I say hunching, I'm trying to use my shoulders and the muscles at the back of my T-spine to kind of hunch over forward. I'm sort of like hunching and pushing my shoulders forward a little bit. You'll notice my head comes forward a bit when I do it. that's what we're going to do. And then once we've held that, we're going to then allow the whole chest to stretch and lengthen, and that's going to be the stretch. So we're using a little bit of reciprocal inhibition to facilitate this stretch. So now, having said that, I'm going to show you guys against the wall so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got my nice frame set up, fold my arms, keep that kind of sturdy. So then I'm going to come up against the wall, kick back a little bit from the wall, place my hands on the wall, putting my head on my forearm. Then I'm just going to, as I breathe in, I'm going to hunch my shoulders into the wall. Then as I breathe out, I'm going to let that go. Try and keep a nice neutral lumbar spine, but allow that thoracic spine to open up. And my chest is getting a nice stretch there. So I'm going to hang here for the out breath. I'm going to breathe in and hunch. Keep the neutral lumbar spine, breathe in. And then breathe out. Relax out of it. If you need to come a little bit further from the wall, do it. If you need to come a bit higher, as you get more extension in that spine, do it. So you feel more of a stretch. You might also feel this a little bit in your lats or underneath your arms or in your shoulders a little bit. That's normal. You really want to feel that upper chest particularly opening up. So then I'm going to push again, hunch, hunch, breathe in. Pushing just 20%. Let it go on the out breath. Keep a neutral lumbar spine. And really starting to feel that upper chest open up and that thoracic spine go into a good amount of extension. We'll do one more. Rounding those shoulders and pushing. And walk a little bit up the wall because I'm getting more extension now. Breathe out, come out of it. This last one, I'm just going to hang here and hold for a few breaths until I really feel that chest start to open out and want to stay lengthened. Remember, it's not about seconds, it's about when you feel those muscles have lengthened and they want to kind of stay lengthened. Making sure to keep my lumbar spine neutral, it's not arched excessively. And I'm really starting to feel that upper chest just open out. I want to stay there. I'm just going to come out of that slowly now, away from the wall. The other thing you want to be careful of with this stretch is you don't want to put too much pressure on your neck. I'm really doing this through my arms. You don't want to have it to the point where your cervical spine is getting hyper extension either, because that's going to put too much stress on your neck. So you want to be careful. The lumbar spine is neutral and the cervical spine is pretty neutral as well. And we're working mainly through the thoracic spine. So those are the things to kind of watch out for. So there we go. That's the stretch. So when would you want to do this stretch? So typically you want to do this stretch before you do any other shoulder mobility work or stretching, because you want the thoracic spine to be in the best possible position going into that sort of work. So, and the other thing to note is that thoracic extension facilitates external rotation of the humerus, our arms. So the more I'm extending my thoracic spine, the more that sternum is getting pulled to the sky, the more my arms want to rotate out. And on the flip side, the more that my chest is dropping and my T-spine is curving too much in deflection, the more these hands want to drop into, these arms I should say, want to drop into internal rotation. So you can see, depending on where your T-spine is, how much impact that has on the position of your shoulders and then ultimately the position of your entire arm. So if you find that when you stand, that you put your thumbs up in a thumbs up position like this, hey, thumbs up, just let your arms dangle at your sides. If you hunch over, watch your arms curl in. That's internal rotation with thoracic flexion we go more into thoracic extension, we're getting more external rotation of the hands. So you want to have it so your thumbs are pretty much pointing forward. A little bit of internal is okay, but pretty much your thumb should be pointing directly forward at the camera. They start to go in too much, you're probably going into a bit too much internal rotation, and it's probably because you're going into too much thoracic flexion. So we really want to have a nice neutral T-spine, so our chest is nice and open and our back is nice and open. Chest and back are open equal amounts so we can really breathe. And you just feel like you have nice neutral spinal posture now. So this is a great one to do, like I said before, any other sort of posture work, mobilizations and stretches. So this is a good one to actually do before you do wall angels. So wall angels is a great exercise for correcting posture. We've covered that off in another video, which I'll link below. But you want to actually do this this chest stretch and thoracic extension stretch just before you do the wall angels to get the most out of wall angels, to make sure that your thoracic spine and your whole shoulder girdle is in the best possible position to take advantage of the posture work you're going to do. So I'll leave it there today, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another video. We'll be back really soon with another video, and don't forget to listen to your body and breathe.